Hi, everyone. My name is Dawn. I'm here with Nicholas today. Today, we're going to be talking about Nicholas's career and what made him choose his career. Today, we just wanted to take a deep dive into your current position and how you became involved in your career.
Yeah, bit of a story.
We could start off from I know that you mentioned like when you were younger, your dad wanted you to be a mechanic.
No, no, I
Didn't want
wanted
you
to
to
be
be
a
a
mechanic.
mechanic.
My dad, he was a mechanic. He actually had a lot of different jobs before I was born and then afterwards. He was an iron worker, a mechanic, sold real estate for a while. He just was bounced all over the place. I wanted to be a mechanic in high school. I remember dad telling me that you don't want to do that, you know. I thought, well, what are you talking about? That's what you did. What's wrong with it? I remember him telling me that whenever you're a mechanic, everybody is your boss. At the time, so what? We didn't have a whole lot of money growing up. So one day I was working on my truck, trying to get it ready to go to school the next day. I was up under it. I don't even remember what I was working on. I was underneath trying to do something. And unbeknownst to me at the time, he was up top talking to me and he was just picking little bits of rust and dirt and stuff and just sprinkling it down through the engine, just right in my eyes. I didn't wear glasses at the time. You're trying to get this thing working. It was in Louisiana. It was hot, buggy, just up there, upside down, trying to get this thing to work, and rust and dirt's falling in my eyes. And I got so upset. Oh man, I came out of there mad. And he's like, "Oh, well, that's what being a mechanic is." And I'm like, "That's it. Nope, no mechanic for me. I'm out." Lucky for me, we had another family member who had gone through the same course I did, which was industrial instrumentation. My dad told me, he's like, "Oh, why don't you go check it out and see how you like it?" He told me there was robots involved, and I thought, "Oh, robots are cool." I went, did the course, and kind of been doing that ever since.
What was that like? How many years was that a tech school?
It was a trade school, yes. 2 years straight through.
And do you start an apprentice?
I did not. It was just 2 years straight through. My wife, she was just steady applying me for jobs, mostly entry level jobs. I mean, I don't even know if there is an apprenticeship for that position, to be honest with you.
Now, currently, your job now is you move across the country a lot.
I have a few times. I try not to if I can. I have moved. I've moved from originally Louisiana to Arkansas. I did that for 5 years and then moved from Arkansas to Montana. Did that for 3.5 years. Then from Montana to Kentucky, and I've been here ever since.
So now you stay in Kentucky.
That's where the house is, and the family.
They probably like you to be there.
They do. I do work out of state a lot.
Okay.
Currently, my job has me kind of flying down to Oklahoma, but that's sort of more of a temporary thing. I've been working in Ohio and West Virginia for 2 weeks at a time. My current job is not industrial instrumentation, it's electronics technician, sort of in that same wheelhouse.
What does a day look like for you?
Day for me, typical day, I wake up at 3 o'clock, either morning or afternoon, depending on if I'm day shift or night shift. Live in a hotel room basically when I'm at work. Wake up at 3, get ready, head to location, which is just some patch of dirt somewhere in the area. Could be 20 minutes, could be an hour and a half to get there. Just it depends from day to day. I get to location. We have a little maintenance trailer that just sits on location because I work right now for an oil company doing fracking. So I just get to location and sit there and wait for stuff to break.
So, what are some of like the ups and the downs?
Let's start with the downs because there's a lot of those. Down, you work 20 or 14 days straight, 2 weeks, every single day. The way it's structured, you're working day shift, another guy's working night shift, and y'all just swap. You'll do that for a week, then That guy will leave, another tech will show up, and you'll swap out with him for a week. And then you'll leave, and that guy that just left came back. Then they'll swap for a week. If you're sick, if you're not feeling good, if you just, I don't want to go to work today, too bad. Get in the truck.
Okay, you have
That,
to.
yeah, you can't just be the kind of person to just not go to work if you don't feel like it.
Mhm.
You're away from your family 2 weeks at a time. You're living in a hotel for 2 weeks at a time. Bonus points, you get a lot of hotel points stacked up throughout the year. So that's kind of nice. You miss a lot of stuff with the family. You miss, especially if you have young kids, you miss first steps, first birthdays, football games and recitals. Your wife's parents are coming into town.
You have 4 children?
Three,
3, okay.
3 kids. Big gap. We got one that's 18 and then 10 and 8.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
18 is, are they going off to college?
he's actually going to be going off to boot camp next
Oh,
month.
oh, nice.
Yeah, he joined the Army National Guard. He's going to be a medic. And then when he's not doing military stuff, he'll be in college for becoming EMT.
That's a good path.
Yeah,
I mean, the Army's a great path. It's a little scary, I would think, if you're the parent.
it's a little nerve wracking,
Mhm.
but well, I want to say I tried to talk him out of it, but I really wanted to make sure it's what he wanted to do. It seems like the medical field has always been kind of where he wanted to be. He wants to go save lives, so I think it's honorable.
Joining the Army is very honorable. What are some of the ups other than the hotel points?
Yeah, a lot of hotel points. I get so many hotel points. If you're the kind of person who doesn't like having your boss over your shoulder every day, all day, asking, "What are you doing? What are you working on? How's it going? When's it going to be done?" Great, wonderful. I haven't seen my boss's face in 3 months. Because he works at the shop. I work out in the field 2, 3 hours away. Now 3, 4 states away. You're kind of left alone. That's your job. You show up. If something breaks, that's your responsibility. If you're the kind of person who can handle that kind of pressure, awesome. Nobody's looking over my shoulder. Nobody's constantly asking, "What are you doing?" If everything's running, everything is doing what it's supposed to do, good to go.
Yeah.
The pay is great. You're staying in hotels, but you get to see a lot of the country. You get to see a lot of the parts most people don't see. Small towns, with some small local shop that makes just the best sandwiches in the area. You get to see all of those. Get to meet a lot of really interesting people. Some of them not so great. Some of them are awesome.
Yeah.
And because of the work schedule, I get just flat out 16 weeks off a year.
That's nice. So
Yeah.
you take a lot
So
of vacations.
a lot of vacations. Because you work 2 weeks straight, you work 2 weeks on, 1 week off. 52 weeks divided by three, 16 full weeks off. When I was working at factories and stuff, you work Monday through Friday, off Saturday and Sunday. Well, you're exhausted. You don't want to do anything. The kids want to go to the park, or you got to schedule a doctor's appointment, or you want to schedule a vacation. It's just a nightmare trying to fit everything in, like, either vacation, or you have to take time off to go. I got to go to the bank and get this paperwork notarized or whatever. You're eating into your personal time just to get life stuff done. Well, when you have 16 weeks off every third week, you can do your appointments if you need to. You can do all that stuff and still save your personal time, which I get 3 weeks off on top of the 16.
That's really nice.
You'll work 2 weeks and then you can take a week of vacation, be off for 2 more weeks.
Mhm.
Then you go back and work 1 week and you're off for another.
I always feel if you work Monday through Friday, really, you only have Saturday off, and that's like your errand day. Then Sunday, you're just dreading Monday.
Running around, all that stuff. You're trying to cram it into 2 days.
I like 16 weeks plus the extra weeks.
Yeah.
That is nice. Now, would you say the position that you have is high risk, high pressure?
Absolutely high pressure. Absolutely. Whereas I don't have my boss over my shoulder on a frac site. You have, because the company I work for, we don't own any wells at all. So another company like Exxon or ConocoPhillips or whoever, they own the wells. They own the land, they own the wells. They hired another company to come in and drill the wells. We show up just to fracture the wells. So whoever we're working for, they have a representative on location at all times, usually 2 to 4. If a piece of equipment goes down and we're down and it's a me problem, they want to know what's going on. Last number I heard, I don't know how accurate it is. It's about $10,000 a minute cost just to not be running. So if something breaks, every minute it's still broke, that's $10,000 somebody's losing.
Hmm.
They want it running right now.
That's your pressure point, but is it like a risk that you take?
My first day that I ever went to a location, I was still new, still training. I went with another guy. At that time, we had Chevy delivery vans that you would put all your parts. You'd have like a little desk in there. It was like your apartment slash workshop slash whatever. I show up and he asked me, well, where do you want to park? And I don't know. How about over there? He goes, that's the water heaters. If those things have a leak and they could blow up and that'll kill you. Okay, well, not that. How about over there? That's where the crane is. If something happens to the crane, it falls over, it'll hit the van and kill you. Okay, what about over there? Oh, that's where the pumps are. If those things let loose, it'll definitely kill you. Everywhere I was wanting to go, that'll kill you, that'll kill you, that'll kill you, that'll kill you. And I'm like, where do I park then? He goes, the honest answer is anything out here can kill you. You just pick the one you're most okay with.
And you're like, wait, I'm going to be working here?
Yeah. So my first job was not in the oil field. My first job was at a plant destroying chemical weapons. I get there. Uh, I was in orientation. The guy asked me, he goes, well, has anybody seen the movie The Rock? I've seen The Rock. He's like, remember the rockets they had in The Rock? I was like, those were VX rockets. Like, I remember that. He goes, that's what we have. Oh no, that's that's not good. He goes, it's not like the movies. Okay, good. He goes, it'll still kill you and it'll hurt the whole time. Your face just won't melt off. I got steeped in the danger of the industry very early on.
Mhm.
So now when they're like, oh my God, this is so dangerous, you're like,
Yeah,
whatever.
you're comfortable with knowing the dangers.
I've been doing oil field for a little over 10 years now. Every now and then I'll stop and think about like how crazy it is what we're doing out there. And like we are doing insane things to the earth.
Hmm.
It is bonkers. We're the last location I was on, we were running at just under 10,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. So, if you have a 8-inch piece of iron that's 30 feet long, 10,000 pounds of pressure every square inch. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. We were running at a rate, I did the math, we could fill an Olympic sized swimming pool in 2.5 minutes. So, just insane stuff going on.
So that's a lot. Without it, we would have no oil,
Natural gas.
natural gas.
So
Mm.
yeah, it's one of those jobs that a lot of people really don't like. A lot of people like to, "Oh, you're killing the earth."
You're killing the earth until we need it.
Yeah. Do
Go
you
get
like
it.
going to see your mom and dad on your vacation? Do you like glasses, IV bags, antihistamines? There's a show Landman came out somewhat recently. And there's a scene in that show with Billy Bob Thornton where he's talking about all the stuff that they make with oil. He's right on all of it. The show kind of dramatizes stuff here and there. Some stuff really dramatizes. But what he's talking about is true. Oil's in everything. It's in plastics, medication. insulates the wires in your houses so you don't burn your house down. With natural gas, it heats your house. So when it's 15 degrees outside, you're not freezing to death. It provides power, electricity. It's everywhere. We can't get away from it. If there was something better, I would happily go get that. But right now, there's not.
I feel like we're going to start using a lot more here, like in the US.
Generally, try to stay away from the whole what's happening in the world. Is oil price going to go up, going to go down? Just show up when they tell me to show up.
What do you think is a huge misconception that people misunderstand of what you're doing?
That's just the oil field. My actual training is industrial instrumentation,
Mhm.
which a lot of people don't even know that is exists. They don't even know what it is. I remember when I was in trade school working at an Applebee's waiting tables, I was asked several times, "Oh, are you in college?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in trade school." Well, what are you going for? Industrial instrumentation. And these people, I have a guitar that needs work. Do you think you could work on that? Different different instruments, not the same. And people thought, well, what, like washers and dryers? Kinda closer. It's everything that factories, industry, manufacturing, anything that needs to operate. So any sensor that they have, any control valve, gauge, anything in an industrial capacity, calibrating gauges, making sure valves open and close when they're supposed to, PLCs, all of that kind of falls under industrial instrumentation. It's like the dirty version of an engineer. So engineers, they have the plans, they draw everything up, how it's supposed to work. Once it's installed, usually by instrument techs and pipe fitters and all the different trades. The instrument techs monitor everything, maintain everything, make adjustments if they need to. So they're kind of the midpoint between like your standard mechanic, pipe fitter, welder, and an engineer. They're kind of filling the gap.
Do you think that the field needs more techs? A lot of the trades right now are struggling with finding people to go
Yeah.
into these careers. And it's either they just don't know or their parents are unaware of how great a trade can be.
We are definitely needing more instrument techs because everything's getting more automated. A lot of people think, oh, well, robots are taking all the jobs. So what's the point? Somebody's got to work on the robots. Somebody has to be able to look at a ladder logic program or any PLC program and determine this is where the problem is. Because once you set up a robot, it doesn't just do its job forever. All kinds of things get happen with robots. Somebody walks by and bumps a sensor. Now the robot moves a little too far and it starts smacking something. Now it throws all kinds of other stuff out of whack. A sensor goes bad and it doesn't know that the sensor's bad. So now it doesn't know where to stop or when to start or anything. And it just locks up. So you need people to be able to go into those systems and be able to look at each of the sensors and what it's doing and be able to understand what that information is telling you and how the computer in the robot is going to see it to figure out what's going on. You walk up to a robot, it's not working. What about it isn't working? Is it not moving? Is it not stopping? Is it doing almost everything correct? It misses whatever point it's supposed to get to. The operators, they don't know. It's not their job to know. They're not supposed to know. All they know is the machine's not working. So you're the one that gets called out there. The engineer's back in his office doing drawings or something. So you have to go out there and basically interpret real world and computer information to make it work. There's not nearly enough people out there doing it. I had problems in high school whenever I decided to do this course. College is kind of seen as like the baseline.
Mhm.
You graduate high school, you go to college, you get a college job. And that's just kind of the way society has gone for a long time.
Yeah.
Because of that, We are really hurting in the trades for people. There's a lot. I'm working with people's grandpas. There's no one else to do the job.
Yeah.
But people 60, almost 70 years old out there doing this blue collar work just because no one else wants to do it.
We're trying to create a community that can go into the schools and high schools and be inspiration to the trades.
And we need it. I mean, Micro did a lot, but he can't do it all by himself.
Yeah, we love micro.
Absolutely love
I
Micro.
want
I mean, I do a dirty job.
you do a dirty job. I want to go on site and go to different places and actually do the jobs like
Yeah,
micro did.
absolutely. I would love doing something like that.
Seems fun.
I remember when I was in high school, just talking about how college focused society is. We had an assembly one morning, and the teacher was giving that sort of like typical teacher speech of, you got to get your grades up and you got to pay attention so you can have a good GPA, so you can get into a good college and get a good job. She was going on and on about it. I had already decided to go to trade school. So I'm kind of thinking, man, this doesn't really apply to me. Towards the end, I remember very specifically, she said, if you don't get your grades up and get to a good college and get a good job, what else are you going to do? You're going to go to trade school and be a plumber? She said it like being a plumber was just some dirty peasant work. We're too good for being a plumber.
Hmm.
That that got me pretty upset. And I remember seeing her because I had one of her classes later in the day, and she could tell I was not happy. I didn't have a great poker face back then. She asked me what was wrong. I was like, I don't really appreciate what you said about trade schools. You could tell she was kind of torn herself between like, well, maybe you should go to college then, and being the like responsible teacher. She's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, okay. Let's say you get off of work today and you go home and it's the middle of the night and your toilet starts leaking. Who are you going to call? Plumber, of course. Oh, you're going to call a plumber. So, not one of your college buddies, not a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. Well, no, a plumber. Okay, that makes sense. Uh, how much you going to pay the plumber to fix that leak in the middle of the night? I don't know. You're going to pay him whatever he tells you you're going to pay him because you don't know how to fix a leaking toilet. So many people don't think about how the world really works
Hmm.
and what it takes to keep all of this running. Working in the trades, you get to see it basically behind the scenes of society. And I love that. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I get to see truck drivers and electricians and plumbers and pipe fitters and all these different trades. We all work together and just seeing what it takes, just to keep the lights on, in a neighborhood is insane.
Yeah,
Like,
I can imagine.
it is a
Well,
miracle that any of this works.
well, it's crazy because when you think about when they say we're going to have this world blackout, right? You're like, wait, aren't the electricians already going to have this ready to go if something goes down? Who's going to be working on all this? It's going to be like trades that keep the world running.
Speaking of something like that, I remember because of my first job in destroying chemical weapons, I actually got certified as a hazmat technician. So we learned all about respirators, N95, and what it means, and which filters are good for oil or not good for particulates, and blah, blah, blah. They said everybody needs to wear the masks, N95 masks. I remember going, that's not how masks work. Well, it might reduce it some. It's like, if somebody's spraying you with a garden hose standing behind a chain link fence will technically reduce it some, but no, it's not actually going to do anything.
Yeah.
From day one, N95 mask. I remember that's not how this works. But you try to tell someone, oh, did you go to college? No, I didn't go to college. I was a hazmat technician for 3 years. Well, the college people said to wear them. So there is a kind of a double edged sword. You get to see how all this stuff works. But then when someone who doesn't know how it works starts making wild claims about what's going to happen, and you go, no, no, that's not how this works. You're seen as a crazy person who just denies things.
But you were right. because you knew and they didn't work. I mean, that's all it really did, I think. Some of
Yeah,
us feel better about it, but
yeah. As long as everyone feels safer,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
what really matters.
If you had to give advice, this would be something you would suggest for people.
My thing is when I was looking at college, I remember kind of knowing that I didn't have the discipline or the drive or the want to go to college. If you're that kind of person that you look at college and you just kind of, the idea of just sitting at a desk all day just makes your soul want to wither and die. Don't not go to trade school. Don't avoid trade school because, somebody might look down on you. I like working with my hands. I like getting done with the project and being able to see there it is. This is working now because I worked on it. It was broken. Now it's not broken. It's because of me. I did that. Huge confidence boosts, huge self esteem boost. You can leave work and you can see, like, oh, look, this thing that I do is working and all these people are benefiting from it. And it's not like oh, yes, just thank me, I am the king or anything. But, I feel good. Like, I feel great knowing that people can go on vacation. People can light their houses. People have heat in the winter. Like, I helped with that. It's not because of me, but I was a part of that massive machine that just keeps everything moving. And that's a huge point of pride for me. If you like working with your hands, if you like seeing the actual tangible results of what you do at the end of the day, trade schools are awesome. There's so many jobs and they're hurting for people so bad. They'll almost throw jobs at you when you get out. If you're just willing to show up and do the work, and that's it, just show up and do the job and do the best job you can do. You don't have to be some super smart wizard. You don't have to have the best of everything. If you can show up and get it done consistently, you're set.
What was school like for you?
So it was basically like high school still, really, because I graduated high school and 2 weeks later I was in trade school. You just show up. It's not quite like school where you have like English and math and history, the different courses. Like you show up, we're doing DC electronics for the whole month, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day, minus the weekends, obviously. You just do electronics. When you're done with that, it was AC electronics, and you do that for a month. Circuit boards and it just all builds on top of each other because we did C and DC electronics, Boolean algebra, which I did surprisingly well in that algebra. I suck at all other algebras. And then it was like motor starters and controls and PLC logic. And then we did, it's called pressure, level, temperature, and flow, where you learn about sensors, control valves, the different types of valves, the different types of sensors, different ways of controlling things with electronics versus air pressure, how to calibrate, how to operate, how to maintain. You do that for 4 to 6 months. And eventually, your last course is sort of just putting it all together. And the course I went to, they had their own small mock plant. And the way it worked was you spent the whole semester getting that plant up and running. At the end, it was sort of your senior gift slash prank to mess it all up for the next class coming in after you.
Uh,
It was really neat. You show up and they're like, well, open this valve. And you flip a switch and that valve over there opens. Stuff is spraying and valves won't move. And the teacher's just like, figured out.
you're able to take the knowledge that you learned and fix it.
Yeah. And it was a lot of figure it out. It's just that's what a lot of what the job is. It's troubleshooting. That is probably one of my biggest advices. Learn how to troubleshoot if you're going to be in the any trade at all, even just in life. Learn how to troubleshoot. This is what it's doing. What is it supposed to be doing? Where's the disconnect?
That makes sense, even in life.
Even in life, you're driving down the road, you hear a funny noise. You might not know what the funny noise is, but does it do it more when I turn left or when I turn right or when I'm straight? Is it braking? Is it accelerating? Is it coasting? Does it when the radio's off? Does it do it? If you can go to the shop, even though you don't know how to fix it, you don't have the tools to fix it, you don't know anything about it. If you can go to the shop and you go, it's making a grinding noise when I'm turning left towards the front of the car. That's huge. That tells them where to start. And that can turn a 4 hour fix or, a 3 day hunt for them into a 6 hour repair. I don't know about you, but I'd rather have my car in 6 hours rather than 3 days or get it back and it's not fixed at all.
Attention to detail.
Yeah.
Sometimes I lack that, but I try.
It gets us all from time to time. That was something my dad told me all the time growing up. He said, don't just look, see something. When you're 11 years old, that doesn't really make any sense. Well, I'm looking, I'm seeing stuff. What do you want from me? And over the years, he'd be like, well, see how that's kind of wiggling that way when this happens? Well, yeah. And you kind of start picking up on those things. You start realizing, and he always also used to say that everything has a process. He said, engines, building a house, plumbing, everything. Everything has a process. Once you figure out what that process is, everything gets a lot easier because when it's not doing the process, you know where it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Then you know where to start looking. Then you can ask, why is it not doing this? Then you can go in and you can change stuff because there's times where, this machine's not working. Well, this sensor is bad. Okay, well, we don't have one of these sensors, but I can use another type of sensor that would basically do the same thing. Oh, well, that's not the right sensor. Do you want the machine running or not? The machine doesn't know if it's the right sensor or not. If we can put this other one in it and get it running, we'll order the one that it's supposed to be. When it shows up, we'll stick it in. Yeah, that kind of knowledge really helps keep things running smooth.
Over time. That's not instant knowledge,
No, no, it's not instant knowledge. I'll be honest, growing up broke really helps in those kinds of situations because you just got to make it work. And you don't have the right thing. You don't have everything you need. You still got to get to work in the morning. There is a limit where a point where it kind of gets a little too much. Like, that's, yes, it's technically on, but that's really not safe. We shouldn't do that.
Mhm.
Learning where those lines are is just as important as learning when to kind of blur those lines.
Yeah, I guess it would help because like if anything breaks when you're younger, you
Yeah.
learn to like fix yourself.
I mean, there was a lot of jobs. There were a lot of times growing up. I remember once it was Christmas morning. Me and the wife, we were going to see family in the car, turn the wheel, and all of a sudden I hear, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound good. Luckily, I was able to call my dad. And he goes, sounds like your CV axle broke. Awesome. Follow up. What is the CV axle?
Where is that?
Yeah. Where is it? And how do I fix it? And that's one of those like you're stuck. You either figure it out or you're stuck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Did you figure it out?
Not that day. Luckily, we weren't far from home. CV axle is one of those you gotta have another CV axle.
Okay.
You're not replacing that with a couple twigs and some zip ties.
Now, do you have to get licensed or certifications? Do you have to keep up with yearly licenses from your state or anything like
Not
that?
really. It's not like we're a plumber or an electrician where you have local codes. I mean, there are codes in factories and manufacturing and stuff too, but I'm not an electrician. I'm not running the wire for the lights and the sockets and all of that stuff. And I'm not a plumber installing, the toilets or the showers or anything like that. Fit in this like weird gray area. And everyone in safety hates us because They go, oh, well, that's not how this is supposed to go. As an example, a lot of times you're supposed to lock out equipment when you work on it. Super, super important. If you're working on this piece of equipment, it has to be locked out. And that makes perfect sense. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. It's a great idea most of the time, because you don't want to be working on a piece of equipment with your arm in there and then somebody walk by and fire it up and now you don't have an arm anymore.
When you say locked up, you're like turning off power to that?
Well, lockout, they call it lockout, tagout. It's a whole lot of stuff. It could be closing a valve and then like putting a chain through the handle so that somebody can't open the valve because you're going to be downstream with a piece off and you don't want scalding steam blowing you in the face. It could be turning off the engine or the motor to a piece of equipment while you're working on or around the drive shaft and you don't want it turning on. It could be any number of things. Usually it involves turning it off and then putting a lock on the breaker switch or something like that, depending on what you're working on.
Mhm.
And so that's there to keep you safe. It is important. It's very important because I have seen many times where somebody didn't lock it out and someone else walks by, oh, well, this is supposed to be running, and just turn it on, not thinking about it.
Yeah.
They don't know somebody's down in there trying to work on it. It can get nasty real quick. But with our job, a lot of it, especially with electronics, it needs to be on. I need to see what this is seeing to
Mhm.
know what to do to it, to know if what I did worked. And you can't lock it out and have it on at the same time. So you go to the safety guy and they're like, 100% locked out every piece of equipment every time. You go, hey, I have to have this on to see what it's doing. Just be quick about it. Got it. We
Yeah.
fit in this kind of weird, like in the rules, but also kind of outside the rules. Huge gray area. There's not really a lot of step by step instructions for what we do because it's all troubleshooting. But if everything went by the book, you wouldn't need us.
That's interesting.
It is. It's a wild ride every day. It's always something different.
Well, that's good though, and it's like you seem happy, so that's nice. Like to because a lot of people are in careers that don't make them necessarily happy.
I had a couple jobs where I was miserable.
Mhm.
I've been in and out of the oil field a few times just because of market crashes and COVID happening and layoffs and all that. And I did a job for a little while where I was supposed to be an instrument technician, and I would do that sometimes because the plant was not officially up and running yet. They were still building it. There was a whole lot of paperwork that still had to be done. I think I spent 6 months at a desk just in Excel spreadsheets together. Well, you're in here in the air conditioning where it's comfortable. It's like, yeah, and I hate this. I like air conditioning. Don't get me wrong. I love air conditioning. I hate sitting here staring at a screen all day doing spreadsheets. I will claw my eyes out if that's what I have to do all day.
I wouldn't be able to do that either.
No. And more power to the people that do. A brother, he does data analysis. He's good at it. He's great at it. Love it for him. Please, God, don't make me do it. It's an important job that somebody has to do. Just don't make it me.
I know. I've been behind a desk my whole life.
I think it takes a different kind of strength to do that job. And that's a strength that I don't have. I have spent so much time being looked down on by others for being in the trades or growing up in the South or growing up poor. It's really hard for me to just look down on other people. I can't walk into an office and go, oh, you just sit here and do spreadsheets all day. They're just as important as I am.
I feel like yeah, to each their own, right? Sometimes we make mistakes. Like I look at my friends that are hairdressers and I envy them. I'm like, I
Yeah.
wish I did that.
I think about those too. Seems like anytime I get a little peek behind the curtain of another job, I go, yeah, I'm glad I didn't do that one.
I'm happy.
Every job has nonsense that you have to deal with.
Mhm.
Every job has rules that doesn't make sense. Every job has customers that are unreasonable and want ridiculous things that isn't going to get them the result that they want to get. And they told you the result they want, and they refuse to do the thing that will get them that result.
Mhm.
Every job doesn't matter. Just suck it up. It's fine.
Yeah. Suck it up. It's life.
Yeah. You can either work around them or be stuck in the middle of them. You do what you want to do. I'm going to work around them.
I'm going to work around them too. Thank you for taking the time and coming on.
Yeah, of course.